Millions hitting the road this weekend and now about to get hit by a tax hike courtesy of those turkeys in Washington. Hi, everybody. I'm Neil Cavuto, and enjoy those low gas prices while you still can, because talk's revving up in Washington that it won't last. Democrats are fueling it, saying that the $53 billion highway trust fund needs it, that it's not enough to pay for fixing all those roads and bridges. So time to hike the federal tax on every gallon of gas. Now, I'm all for giving money, but first tell me what you did with the $53 billion in money we already gave you. Charles Payne is asking the same question, which is making Charles ask, why am I asking the same question? He is also joined by Ben Stein, Dagan McDowell, Julie Gaginski, and Charlie Gasparino. Adam Lashinsky, well, he's going to be back next week. We're told he's busy traveling the country on a bicycle tour to push for that higher gas price at the pump. I'm hoping another rumor we heard that some customer there doused him in gasoline and lit him on fire is all wrong. But we'll keep you posted. Meanwhile, Charles Payne, a gas tax.
Listen, I mean, I know the roads and bridges are crumbling, but what are they doing with the cash, Neil? We have seen so many examples of wasted billions and billions. The stimulus, shovel ready, $800 billion will solve it. We'll pave all the roads. All the bridges will be sound. These states took the money. They put it out for favorite projects. I mean, everywhere you look, the money is wasted, and they raise more in the name of doing the right thing, but they don't do the right thing.
All right, I'm going to put you down as a no.
Yeah, check me off as a no. Even though I still got to pay the toll at the George Washington Bridge.
Understood. And he raises a point between tolls, between what we're giving the states, municipalities, highway trust funds at the local level, the federal level, a lot of money going there. What's happening?
Right, and there's muni bonds out there that states float to fix.
Don't even get me going on muni bonds.
To fix the roads and bridges. I would say this: I would be for more infrastructure spending, but we do need an audit of the $1 trillion stimulus package.
Where is that money
the money go? Now, I bet you it didn't even go to favorite projects, because that would be a positive. My guess is it stayed in the state coffers, so they didn't have to lay off people in their massive bureaucracy, so they could give the unions, keep union, public sector unions employed. I bet you they didn't spend much.
Well, they didn't spend it on bridges.
On bridges, that's
they
for
certainly
sure.
didn't. But it is interesting, Dagan. I know we touched on this before. They're all for infrastructure spending on this kind of stuff. Infrastructure spending, let's say on Keystone. No. Right. I'm going to leave that one aside. I mention it just because I don't want to leave it aside. But I do want to point out the follow the money thing. What's wrong with saying we're open to give you more money, but you first have to tell us what you've done with the money we've given you?
I don't have a problem with that, Neil, but the gas tax has not gone up in more than 20 years in this country. It has not gone up with inflation. If you don't get a cost of living increase in Social Security, people lose their minds. So why wouldn't you think that the cost of fixing our roads would be going up? At the same time, we're driving more fuel-efficient vehicles, so the gas tax is bringing in less revenue.
But
and then the politicians turn around.
Many more people are paying that gas tax.
No, they're not. Not that many more. Absolutely not.
Well,
it's a declining source of.
How long has it been since the last hike?
More than 20 years,
okay.
1993.
Do we have a few more Americans in 20 years?
We do. It's not that many, but as a source of revenue, it's shrinking. And by the way...
So you want a lockbox? Sound like Al Gore.
You know what? I want the people who use the roads to pay for it. Instead, Congress won't raise the gas tax. They use accounting gimmicks to fill the hole with the Highway Trust Fund. They use general revenue essentially from people who are not using the roads. They take tax dollars from people who are not the hardest on the roads. I have a problem with that.
You're just finding a nice way to justify a
whole federal
tax.
budget.
You don't get to bitch about the roads being in crappy shape.
We have standards. Ben, what do you think of this?
Well, what is past is prologue, Neil, and it has always been. Sir?
I don't know. Go ahead.
What is past is prologue. It has always been true that there's been a lot of waste in highway and bridge construction. There will always be a lot of waste in highway and bridge construction. There's a lot of waste in all government contracting. Dagan's numbers are totally right. We have got to get more money in there. We're not getting enough from the gas tax right now. It's got to be raised if we want decent highways. Yeah, those of us like people who live in Southern California need great highways.
But you're acknowledging that it's going to go into a pot, and a lot of people are going to piss it away. And you're just saying
a lot of it will be wasted. Neil, God bless you. A lot of it will be wasted. That's true of everything. Okay. Neil, don't you find in your own life that a lot of the money you spend is wasted? A lot of money is wasted.
Nothing. Not so much as a penny.
Those lattes aren't wasted all.
I count.
You don't need the pumpkin spice in your latte,
No, now you can get ginger. All right, Julie, what do you think of this?
We have standards. I'm learning a whole new thing every day. I didn't know that. I am 100% on board with what Dagan said. Listen, the next time Charles drives over those bridges from New Jersey and it collapses under him, like it did in Minneapolis, he's going to be sorry he didn't raise the gas tax in order to fund infrastructure.
Well, that would assume that gas tax was going to go there to do just that, to fix the road.
And it should. And listen, I'm all for putting it, and as Charles can make fun of me all he wants, or as Charlie can, but I'm all for putting it in a lockbox. But look, the state of New Jersey where you guys live, their transportation trust fund is broke. They're paying, the only thing that the gas tax is going to is paying for interest on those bonds. So how are you going to fund road construction projects? What are you going to do?
I actually went through it was like a 50-page report, and when they raised the toll on the George Washington Bridge, which, by the way, is astronomical, a lot of that money does go to other things that have nothing to do with the George Washington Bridge.
Right.
I mean, it is a farce, and the premise that we're bringing here is that this money is then wasted. It never gets to those projects. In other words, it's a bait and switch. They say, hey, we want to use this for infrastructure. Who's against a good road or a good bridge? But the money never makes it.
You suspect that.
No, you don't.
No,
not to the degree not to the degree, and it's getting worse. I mean, look at it this way.
I'll tell you what's going to happen.
We spent $1 trillion. I'm going to tell you what's happening. Spent $1 trillion allegedly on infrastructure projects, and we funded Solyndra, and we funded pensions.
Well,
for
stick to this issue.
Right,
that's why you
I understand.
Either the federal
Charlie,
government is going
pennies.
to. Either the federal government
Charlie,
is going
with
to.
all due respect, out of the total pot, that was pennies.
Well, how
Look,
much?
If they waste
Ben,
half of
Ben,
it,
are you saying
if they
the
waste
money?
half of it, we have to give them twice
Are
as
you
much.
saying
We
the
need
stimulus?
the roads and bridges.
Are you saying the stimulus money was effectively spent on roads and bridges? Because it wasn't. Even Obama.
No, I'm saying, of course there was waste. Of course there was waste. Of course there are mistakes. It's all being done by human beings.
Going to go back to Dagan. I understand, Dagan.
Either the federal government is going to take care of the infrastructure problem, or it's going to fall on the states. And what you're already seeing, if you don't want the federal gas tax going up, then your state gas taxes are going to go up. Which, okay, you think your state infrastructure is going to be handled better?
Charlie, you don't even drive.
Good luck with that.
I do. By the way,
the roads in New Jersey are in such good condition.
I think the states can handle this better than the federal government, which wasted $1 trillion.
But are you kidding me? My point is that the money is going to come from somewhere, and it's going to be the driver through more tolls. You're seeing that through higher gas taxes at the state level.
The federal government can't set up a website. They're going to fix roads and bridges.
I'm sorry, Charlie,
you know what? I like the federal highway system. I think that was one of our great achievements in the last century, quite frankly.
Julie,
and when did it start? A century ago.
What are you saying? The states can handle this? What did I just say? New Jersey is broke. Their transportation trust fund is broke.
Why is New Jersey broke? Because you people spend more money than you take in, and you have other things you're spending it on.
Because Chris Christie refuses to raise the gas tax, and
why isn't Florida broke?
Let me finish my point. And instead does sort of sketchy accounting gimmicks for which the SEC in New York is now investigating him.
Julie, why do you keep interrupting Charlie, who keeps interrupting you?
Charlie, come down here. Let's duke it out.
I just like to know why Texas doesn't have a big infrastructure problem.
But guys, could we step back from this? Because I think Ben and Dagan raised a very good point at the beginning that, look, we know there's abuse and fraud and mismanagement and money goes to all the wrong places, but the federal government is the place through which this is done. And a good deal of that money is going to get to the desired purpose. I just think it's time we stop with that. I just think it's time we sort of re-examine the books, follow how this procedure has gone, account for the $53 billion that's gone missing, or clearly not to roads and bridges that need building.
We could do that, but more money is going to be needed, and the people who use our roads are doggone well pay for it, because that's what they're fighting. People who drive are going to pay for it.
You started with that premise. Now end with that.
Well, first of all, a lot of money is being wasted still, and I think, again, to your point, it's not a matter of whether or not people want good bridges and tunnels. It's a matter of the farce that's being perpetrated over and over again. And for us to say, hey, government, we give you the green light. Keep fleecing us.
To match the gas tax and the spending, you're going to cut $15 billion every year in a budget where the roads are already crumbling.
Just explain
try
the money.
To do that.
Why don't we
okay,
to raise
try
taxes
to do that.
To do this? Why can't we cut from somewhere?
Cut the spending and then
Well,
take a cross-country
demanded
trip.
demanded accountability of me to account for every penny. Now I'm going to provide that for our viewers on our website. You will see a disproportionate sum, or what appears to be a disproportionate sum at fast food restaurants. I'm telling you, though, just look for how that pie chart breaks down. I'll provide it free of charge to all of you. Pie chart. It's a pizza pie. All right, well, do you think you're paying government employees to work for you? How about the unions? The Forbes gang on the big bill you're footing to help out big labor in just a few minutes. But up next, did Chuck actually get chucked? The White House saying it was all mutual. But is this breakup really going to shake things up? After this.